Today, I will be using a full team of Pokemon based on characters from Yokai Watch. Special thanks to Magical Unikitty for the team idea. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. And now, without further ado, let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a Yokai Watch team. Now for this team, I chose 6. There's a lot of yokai in this series, so I chose 6 of the yokai, whether based on how popular they are, like with Jibanyan and Litten, or whether or not I like their design, or if they're like if I see the resemblance to another Pokemon that I really want to use, for example. So this Annihilate is gonna swap in on my Litten lead, and I'm like, damn, I'm not able to go for the Endeavor. I had a Focus Sash Endeavor on this Litten, so I'm going to go for the Taunt here in case this Annihilate wants to be cheeky and set up bulk ups in front of me, and that's exactly what it's going to do. So I'm like, okay, I'm able to stop the bulk up at the very least. That's nice. Now I have max speed and max attack on that Litten with Flame Charge. Now, into Papa Bolt, I really wanted to use Thunders. Like, I feel like there's this kind of like, I forgot the word for it, but like these muscular men on clouds, I feel like there's always this kind of like creature in a lot of games. Anyway, even though this yokai is called Papa Bolt, I actually don't have Thunderbolt on this. In fact, I don't even have an electric move on this. What a blunder. But I wanted to use a especially defensive Thunderous, but unfortunately, I can't really stay in on a Mamoswine. I would get absolutely cooked. So I'm going to swap back out into my Litten for the Intimidate. Now, whether or not they were affected by Intimidate was based on whether or not they had Oblivious, because if they had Oblivious, then Intimidate wouldn't have worked. So that immediately tells me that this Mamoswine is more than likely Thick Fat. So I was like, okay, well, I'm at the very least able to Intimidate it. Now I'm going to swap into my Frostlass or Blizzaria. I was looking at all of the yokai designs, and this was probably my favorite one, or one of my favorite ones. Obviously, it's based on the Yuki Onna as well, and that's like one of the more popular yokai just in general. So this is a choice Scarf Frostlass. So even after the Mamoswine goes for the Trailblaze to boost its speed, I'm able to take it out with the Shadow Ball, which is great. So I have Choice Scarf Destiny Bond on this as well, and I have Shadow Ball. I have Blizzard because it's Blizzaria, but like my logic with making this team was really scuffed because I was like, okay, I have to put Blizzard on Blizzaria, but I didn't put Thunderbolt on Papa Bolt. Like my logic was absolutely misconstrued there. I'm just saying that just before people commented. Anyway, so I'm gonna speed up this part of the battle because this was an absolute war of attrition between the Thundurus and the Annihilate, and they're gonna go for the Terra Fairy on their Annihilate. I was like, okay, well, the thing about this situation is I can't really go for. I have on the set, I have Bulk Up, Acrobatics, Rest, and Sleep Talk with the Chesto Berry, which is gonna be able to fully power up my Acrobatics, and I really couldn't hit this Annihilate at first because I needed to be set up to +6 with my bulk ups, and I really didn't want to hit it, otherwise I would be powering up its Rage Fist. So here on this turn, I'm gonna go for the rest. I'm gonna fully recover my health. This Annihilate is gonna also set up bulk ups alongside me, and I know that there was a turn where it went for the Rage Fist, but on this turn I assume that they're gonna go for the Rage Fist because they are now at +6 just like me. So the Annihilate is gonna go for the Rage Fist here. I was thinking, well, I haven't powered this up yet, so it's still at 50 base power, and it does next to nothing to me thanks to the defense boost. So Acrobatics does a lot of damage, and it's like it does like half health. So I was like, okay, well, assuming this doesn't take me out, which it doesn't, I should be able to take it out next turn. But it lives! It lives! I'm like the skin of its teeth! I can't believe it! so the Annihilate is gonna take out my Thundurus. That was absolutely that was like a 50% roll into a 49% roll. That's frustrating. So the Annihilate is gonna swap out, interestingly, so even though they're on like 1 health, I imagine, and into Superior. What a crazy play! I could have easily went for an Ice move. I didn't want to because Blizzard is like inaccurate as all hell, and I didn't really want to, miss versus Annihilate and just fold to Rage Fist. Unfortunately, though, I do give this Superior a special defense drop, a special defense rise because of the contrary ability in my Shadow Ball. So I'm like, this Pokemon is going to be a really big problem if they have Substitute. I was really fearing that. I'm going to go into QB, the Ninetales. This is also a really sick yokai design, honestly. In my opinion, looking at all the yokai design, I wasn't really like a fan of a lot of them personally, just because a lot of them just look very very zany to say the least. Anyway, so this is gonna go for the +2 Terra Blast on me, and I'm able to eat that up very nicely, which is good. Now, I have Nasty Plot, I have Life Orb on this Ninetales as well. So, this Ninetales is a sweeping set with Nasty Plot, Weather Ball, Energy Ball, and Scorching Sands. So, I'm going to take some Life Orb damage, and in comes the Annihilate again. So, I'm like, okay, well, they're not going to be able to outspeed me because I'm max speed. And I imagine that they're probably letting the Life Orb chip me down instead of having them like come in and revenge KO me. Ninetales is a pretty fast Pokemon after all. So, I'm going to lose some more HP. Now, Caterpie is going to come in next. Now, I was thinking, this Pokemon is very threatening. I'm just going to hit it with a Weather Ball, see how much damage I can do. It actually does a heap of damage, putting it into the red, and that's actually going to take me out thanks to my own Life Orb. Now, this, believe it or not, this actually would end up changing the entire course of the game in a very big way. Stay tuned. So, the Hatterene is going to set up a Calm Mind, and it's going to be leftovers at its item. By the way, I want to say thank you everyone for 300 subscribers. That was my end of the month goal, even though I hadn't said it yet. So thank you all so much for subscribing. If you're interested in Pokemon Theme Team content as a whole, feel free to subscribe. My end of the year goal is 1,000 subscribers, and you can help me get there. I would really appreciate it, especially if you enjoy Theme Team content. This is a max speed. This is a max speed Phantom. This is my favorite Pokemon on the team. So this Phantom is crazy. This is a heat set. This is my favorite Pokemon on the team. I think I just said that. Anyway, so this is a max attack, max speed Phantom. Now, the Volcarona is going to set up the Quiver Dance. I anticipated them to want to do that, so I opted to go for the Poltergeist this turn. I have Seed Bomb as well as an offensive option. Now, I'm going to attack the Volcarona with its boots. Where is it even wearing its boots? Who even know? But it does a lot of damage. Now, I have a secret tech option on this Phantom. So I'm going to go for the Endure. I'm going to live on 1 health thanks to the Fiery Dance, which would absolutely cook me. I'm not running an Eviolite on this Phantom. So the Volcarona is going to get that special attack boost. I have Custap Berry, Harvest, Phantom, and that's always going to make me go first. And I'm going to go for the Destiny Bond. So I have Endure, Destiny Bond, Seed Bomb, and Poltergeist, and the Volcarona is going to take me out with the Giga Drain, and that means that it's going to go down thanks to the Destiny Bond. So this Phantom managed to nab 2 KOs on the opponent, which is super hype. The problem, however, though, even though this was a really great turn, is that they still had the threatening Palafin in the back, and I knew this Pokemon was going to be a really huge problem. Fun fact about Palafin, if you send it out in its hero form, the Shiny Sparkles don't actually play. Like, that's really interesting. So it's going to go for the Jet Punch versus my Frost Ice. Oh my gosh, that destroys me. Now, I only have 1 Pokemon left on this team, and it's a Pokemon that I've always wanted to use, King Gambit. It's pretty much the only reason why I chose Reunite, honestly. So, this was, of course, Swords Dance, Supreme Overlord, King Gambit. I really wanted to test to see how powerful this Pokemon was. Spoiler alert, it swept a lot. This Pokemon is crazy. So, I have Terra Flying. I opted to Terra Flying just in case they had close combat or something, but they're going to continue to go for the Jet Punch. Maybe the choice. Anyway, I'm going to go for the Kowtow Cleave. It does under half, so I'm like, okay, I just missed the KO. So they're going to go for the Jet Punch, but unfortunately, they get a high roll. The rolls, okay, first of all, the rolls screwed me over in this battle big time, but also, if I kept my Ninetales in the back, I would have been able to comfortably live those Jet Punches. Damn. Like, thinking back, I definitely should have kept my Ninetales, but it was still a good game regardless. Now, on to the second battle. Now, we have an Incineroar lead versus a Litten lead, and they're both shiny. When are you ever going to see something like this again? Now, I was fearing Fake Out from this Incineroar, so I opted to swap out my Litten and into my Ninetales. Now, I know I just gave this Pokemon a Sun boost, even though it's a Fire type, but I didn't know what it would have, and I didn't think that they would go for a Fire move versus me, considering I'm a Ninetales, right? So I'm going to go for the Nasty Plot. I'm going to raise my special attack. I was wondering what this Pokemon would do. It's going to go for the knockoff, unfortunately, and it's going to knock off my Life Orb. Now, I wasn't sure if this Pokemon was like Assault Vest, which is why I went for the special attack boost in the first place. It actually ended up being Citrus Berry. This Pokemon is straight out of BGC. Oh my gosh. So, they're going to get back a lot of their health, unfortunately, and they're going to go for the Parting Shot this turn. So, I was like, okay, so it reveals Fake Out, it revealed Knockoff, and it revealed Parting Shot. So, they haven't revealed their last move yet. I wasn't sure what it would be. So, in comes the Zapdos. I was really terrified of this Pokemon. It's very bulky, but it ends up outspeeding me. So I was like, huh. So they're definitely max speed, because the Zapdos actually has the same base speed as Ninetales, I believe. So I'm gonna swap into my Litten. I'm gonna try to see if I can go for some Endeavor Flame Charge shenanigans with this. My last move on this, by the way, was Outrage, just in case like I fought like a Walking Wick or something. In comes for Alligator. I don't know why. I feel like I fight this for Alligator is like the most common starter that I've seen personally. Like more than like Meowscarada and like Quaxclaval and like all the other Paldean starters. Even though there's only one other, and that's Skeletor. So I'm gonna taunt it, prevent it from going for the Dragon Dance because that could easily sweep me. There wasn't really much I could do though. All I had was Flame Charge. I didn't really want to lock myself into Outrage versus this, and they're gonna go for the Liquidation on my poor cat. Now that's gonna knock me down to 1 health. I was thinking, are they gonna let me get this Endeavor off, or they're gonna swap? Luckily, they let me get the Endeavor off, which is great, and I'm able to put it all the way down to 1 health and mitigate this threat at the very least. So down goes my Litten, but Litten was always just a lead Pokemon that would help me versus threatening Pokemon like this anyway. So I'm going to swap into my Frostlass. I'm Choice Scarf, so I'm going to easily go for the Thunderbolt and take out this for Alligator. It's funny, I put Thunderbolt on this, but not on my Pop-Up Bolt. I'm still like thinking about that. Anyway, in comes Heracross. This Pokemon was a giant threat. I also really didn't have any switch-ins to it, so I'm going to get absolutely blasted by Rock Blast. It's more than likely a loaded dice Heracross as well, because this Pokemon gets a lot of like multi-hitting moves. It gets like Pin Missile. I don't know if it still has Arm Thrust, but it gets Bullet Seed and it gets like Rock Blast. So it's going to be really threatening, and it's going to have the Moxie as the ability as well. So I was like, oh, okay. I wonder what I could do versus this Pokemon. So it's a Phantom. Okay, I needed to bank on them going for like falling for the Destiny Bond trap. So they're going to go for the Pin Missile versus me, and that's going to set me all the way down to 1 health easily, of course. This Pokemon is, unfortunately, like, no one really, I mean, I'm fighting a Heracross, but still, like, Heracross is one of those Pokemon that used to be, like, super dominant in older gens, but now is, like, unfortunately, it's, like, a victim to power creep, unfortunately. So I'm going to eat my Custap Berry. I was like, okay, please fall for the bait. Please fall for the Destiny Bond bait. Don't expect this, because this Pokemon is easily going to sweep me if I don't. And luckily, they go for the Trailblaze on me, and they're going to increase their speed, but of course, they're going to be not living after this. So my Phantom is going to get another KO. Man, the Custap Berry, first of all, Custap Berry is like my favorite item. Second of all, even if like Destiny Bond shenanigans didn't work, I still always had like Custap Berry activating over and over thanks to Harvest. It was a crazy set. Now, I was very behind at this point of the game. I was down 2-4. I only had 2 Pokemon left. And one of the Pokemon in the back I was really scared of, and another was like Zapdos, which I also was very scared of. And this Incineroar was also very, very annoying against my entire team as well. So I was like, I need to find an out. I need to find a way to win this game. So the Incineroar is going to go for the Parting Shot after I bulk up, which is annoying because this Pokemon can always just intimidate me and Parting Shot me and always get like a -2 attack versus me. So I'm going to speed up this part of the battle as well, because essentially what this part of the battle was me trying to set up bulk ups, trying to have the Zapdos be less of an annoyance to me so that I could go for a powerful Acrobatics versus it. It kept going for Thunderbolts. I have max special defense, so I'm able to eat up the Thunderbolts well, and I'm able to set up my rest strategy, get my full power Acrobatics going at the very least, so that I could do a lot of damage versus the Zapdos, even though it resists. I could at the very least do some good damage versus it. So I'm gonna sleep this turn. I'm gonna go for my first sleep talk. So I was like, okay, I really need to get Acrobatics, and I do get Acrobatics. So I'm like, sweet. It does half damage. I don't want another repeat Annihilate situation. I don't want this Pokemon barely living. That would be really bad. So I'm gonna be asleep this turn. So I'm like, okay, I need to. It would be insanely lucky if I got Acrobatics, but I need to hit this Pokemon, and I get Acrobatics. Oh my gosh, that was like 2 back-to-back 1 in 3 chances, and I'm able to take out the Zapdos. Oh, that was such a big problem to me. Oh my gosh, that actually makes things so much easier. So in comes Incineroar again. They're gonna Intimidate drop me. Now, I have Prankster on this, so I'm able to get my priority rest instantly. So the interesting thing about Prankster is that if I go for a Sleep Talk and I get Acrobatics versus a Dark type like Incineroar, Acrobatics will actually fail. It won't do any damage, and that's because it still considers Acrobatics like a priority status move thanks to Prankster, so I won't be able to actually hit this Incineroar, which is interesting. But I also didn't really know what else to do. Now, this Comfey, I was like, I'm not playing around with this Pokemon. I was definitely like very afraid of this Pokemon because Comfey can snowball super easily. I have Terra Steel on this Thundurus, so I could like tank fairy moves and ice moves especially. So I didn't know what if this Comfey was Terra Blast ground. That would be really annoying. I guess Sleep Talk Rest. You know what? Fair enough. I did just pull 2 acrobatics out of my ass, so that's very lucky. And the Comfey is gonna go for the Calm Mind. So again, I didn't know what moves this Comfey had, if it was like Terra Blast Ground, if it was like just Draining Kiss and Giga Drain, but they swapped. So I was like, okay, good, they can't touch me. This is great, this was a good use of my Terra. And now they're gonna go into their Incineroar again to Intimidate drop me. Man, if I had Defiant, it would be a different story. I forgot, I think this Genie actually gets Defiant. I forgot which of them do, but that would actually be super helpful. I think Tornadus gets it. Well, no, Tornadus gets Defa, I don't remember. Anyway, so I'm gonna go for the Bulk Up again on my Sleep Talk. So I was thinking, well, I have to go for the acrobatics this turn because, like, I can't really go for like Rest Sleep Talk. So acrobatics does a good chunk of damage versus the Incineroar, and they're gonna go for the Party Shot again. This damn thing just keeps Party Shotting all over the battle. Just keeps dropping my attack. Oh my gosh! But my Thundurus is going crazy. Like it's still like surviving. I wasn't sure how they were even gonna take this out, and then they send out King Gambit, and I was like, oh, this is how. So they're gonna be Supreme Overlord now. I knew that I was complete setup fodder versus this, so I'm like, I am not giving this any chances to go for a Swords Dance and leave me like just like as a sitting duck. So I'm gonna swap in my own King Gambit versus this. Now they could have easily went for the low kick, that would have been horrible, but luckily they Swords Dance, so I'm like, okay. Now I am max speed on this King Gambit. I'm max speed Adamant Nature, so I wasn't sure if this was a speed type, but I'm able to low kick that King Gambit right out of here. Holy smokes. So there goes that King Gambit. Low kick is such good coverage for this Pokemon. Now, in comes the Incineroar. Like I said, I didn't know if if they had a fire move. I'm able to outspeed it though, and I'm able to get oh my gosh, I can't speak. I'm able to take out the Incineroar with the low kick, thankfully. And now all that's left is their Comfey. Now, I had no idea what these flowers would Terra into, and I didn't have Iron Head, so they're gonna opt to Terra Steel. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure what this could do to me, so they're more than likely gonna set up Calm Minds here. So they're gonna set up the Calm Mind, try to get that Draining Kiss snowballing into effect with the Calm Minds. But I'm gonna Swords Dance here. Now, I am Fallen 4. I have 4 Fallen Allies, and now I'm +1 in attack. Now, the Comfey is going to continuously set up the Calm Minds. I knew Low Kick wasn't really going to do a lot of damage because Comfey doesn't weigh much of anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for the Kowtow Cleave. I have Sucker Punch on this as well. And oh my gosh, that just destroyed the Comfey. Man, King Gambit and Thundurus, like, they did so well in this battle. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this battle and if you enjoy Pokemon theme teams, feel free to subscribe and check out my theme team playlist. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.